Gentlemen, let's confront a brutal reality. You can be faithful, generous, kind, romantic, and she will still leave you. You can give her a house, a wedding, a family, and she can still trade you in like a depreciating asset. Because men love in ideals, but women love with instinct. And we normally say that a woman is only loyal to one thing and one thing alone. Women are only loyal to their feelings. So today's masterclass will dismantle our most sacred illusions about love and female loyalty. Drawing from evolutionary psychology, real world examples, and red pill awareness, so that you can stop living in fantasy and start leading with power. So we are going to start with the lie that we all learned growing up. Growing up, we were indoctrinated with a myth of love. Disney told us that love conquers all. Shakespeare told us that lovers die for each other. And on that note, for my generation, we did Romeo and Juliet as a set book, alongside Eleki Amadi's The Concubine. The church told us that love is patient, love is kind. We read those words in 1 Corinthians 13. But here is unspoken truth. Men love idealistically, and women love opportunistically. Today I'm going to break down what that expression means. When you say that men love idealistically, this is what we mean. Men tend to fall in love with a woman for who she is, not just what she brings to the table. And that's why we can have housewives. Men don't mind marrying women who have nothing. The second thing it means is that men often project romantic fantasy and idealism onto love, believing that if he loves her deeply, she will love him back the same way. The third reason why we say men love idealistically is because men instinctively assume that love is loyal, unconditional, and lasting, even if circumstances change. And that's why men came up with the marriage vows that say, for better for us in sickness and in health. Those are words that only a man can say. Women cannot say such words. The fourth reason why men love idealistically is because men are more likely to sacrifice, endure, and commit emotionally based on feelings alone. A man can take a bullet for a woman. A woman cannot do that. A woman can take a bullet for her child, but not for her man. So in evolutionary psychology terms, men invest emotionally in women because their biological risk in reproduction is lower. They can spread their genes widely and cheaply. So love for them becomes more about emotional idealism and ego rather than survival. Okay? We normally say women bear the higher reproductive cost, and that is why women are survivalists. They have no room for romance and idealism. And that's why many men stay with women who no longer respect them or desire them. They are attached to the idea or the ideal of love. A man will stay in a sexless marriage, and instead of abandoning it, he's going to get a side chick to meet his urges. So, Rollo tells us that men love based on ideals, but women love based on conditions. What do we mean when you say that women love opportunistically? So, a woman's love for a man, the woman loves a man for what he is and what he provides, not for what he is or who he is at his core. So, who you are, she doesn't really care. What you are providing and what you are is what matters. Okay? So, many men are on the inside, they feel they are sincere, they are kind, and so on. Women don't care about that. A woman will only care about whether you are kind or not once you're already able to provide something. So I normally tell guys, when a woman stands somewhere or writes somewhere that I want a man who is kind, I want a man who is God-fearing, I want a man who is this and that. Women don't care about those things. They only care about you being kind so long as you're able to provide something. If a woman finds a beggar in the street who is kind, she's not going to love him. So you have to remember that. You must already embody the desirable futures before you can meet our attraction cues. The second reason we say women love opportunistically is because women instinctively are drawn to men who have value. And value here can be status, strength, reputation, or resources. So it's not just about resources. Your value can be so many things. It can even be potential sometimes. A woman can love you because of the prospects. You look intelligent, you look industrious, you look like someone who has a future. Gentlemen, if you're enjoying this video, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and share it. When you subscribe, you'll always be notified when I drop new content. Also, when you like and share, you help this channel to grow, and more importantly, you help other men to discover the tools that they need to level up. So remember, when one man rises, we all rise. Now let's get back to the video. Because these values, they improve the chance of our survival and our children. And that's why we say that women value love, okay? And men, okay, women love value and men value love. So women love the value that you bring, but men are in love with the idea of love. So the third reason why we say women love opportunistically is because if a man loses his status, his confidence, or his power and leadership, the woman's attraction often begins to decline. And that's why many marriages are not able to survive once a man loses his job. The third reason we say women love opportunistically is because women love based on conditions. What are you doing for me now? And can you still protect and elevate me? There's a song that was sung that says, no romance without finance. And Janet Jackson sang, what have you done for me lately? Destiny's Child sang the song, bills, bills, bills. So it's about what she's getting. We normally say women's love is consumptive. They're coming to consume. And that is why they'll ask you, what do you bring to the table? When a woman falls in love and she goes to tell her friends that, oh, my friend, oh my God, I've met someone. The first thing they're going to ask her is, what does he do? You know, that is what is important. When a man is in love with a woman, he tells his friend, his mates, they want to see how does she look like. It's because men value beauty. And that's why we say that men are success objects. Those women just want to know what you do, what do you bring to the table. So the fact that women love opportunistically is not portrayed as a moral failing in red pill discourse. It is an adaptive strategy that is rooted in evolution. So we accept it as part of female nature that women are hypergamous and they love opportunistically because there are survival reasons for this. It's not something to make you hate women. David Bass explains in his book, The Evolution of Desire, that women naturally develop mating strategies that optimize survival, meaning they're attracted to men who can increase their reproductive success, not men who simply love hard. Women don't care about how hard you can love them unless you can improve their survival or reproductive prospects. That is why hypergamy, the tendency for women to seek the best possible mate that they can attract, it is seen as a default mode of women, and it is not a defect, it is a feature. So Shakespeare didn't tell you or didn't tell us that Juliet was 13 or that Romeo fell in love twice in that same week. Hollywood didn't tell us or didn't tell you that romantic idealism is a male fantasy. It is not a female instinct. And that's why it's men who buy flowers during Valentine. At least the beta males who want to romance women. Okay? We normally say that romance is a poor man's gimmick. Rich men don't need to be romantic. When you have money, you don't have to be romantic. Women will still be attracted to you. Okay? Especially once you're red pill and you understand desire and attraction, then you know. If you look at a concert where someone like Diamond is performing and the women are there in the crowd, these women will remove their pants and throw them on the stage. These women, if they got a chance with Diamond in private, they will have sex with him even if he's not romantic, because they are attracted to his charisma, his status, and the wealth that he represents. Okay? And that's why when you look at these chick flicks like Vampire Diaries and the romance novels like 50 Shades of Grey, the man doesn't need to be romantic. You just need to be dark, you need to be rich, and you need to be powerful, and a woman will get wet for you. But if you're a beta male who is soft and weak and lacks status and confidence and power, then you have to buy flowers, talk to her for long hours, put her in the box. So you need to understand this. So female love is a survival strategy. It is not a fairy tale. Women are biologically burdened with pregnancy, with childbirth, and early child rearing. They carry the physical risk. Their survival and the survival of their offspring depends on choosing mates who can give them protection, provisioning, and strong genes. So evolution did not build women to love selflessly. And that's why some women will ask their guys who are broke, hiyo mapenzi yako tutakula, are we going to eat your love? Okay? Evolution built women to detect value, to maximize security, and to adapt to changing conditions. David Bass tells us that women consistently value financial resources and status in long-term mates because these factors help to ensure their survival and offspring success. And that's why hypergamy exists. Note those words, in long-term mates. Okay? So there are also other things that women want in short-term mates. But in long-term mates, they prefer those three. We'll revisit that. So love is a transaction, and this is a survivalist code of women. Women love based on utility and opportunity, not men's dreams, not your fantasies, but on nature's demands. And that's why women are much more practical when it comes to matters of love. Women will hardly ever commit suicide over a man. They can cry, they'll go to their friends, they can get depressed. But a man will kill himself because a woman has left him. So Rollo tells you that women love you for what you are, not who you are. And that's why millionaires like Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates, they were once the most powerful men in the world, but they were still divorced by their wives when the emotional or power dynamic shifted. So for cases of Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos, these women had enough leverage. They knew if they divorced them, they could walk away with the wealth and they get any man that they want. Most cases, if women get enough leverage, they will leave a relationship and monkey branch, because mate switching instinct is also part of the female nature. They want to switch mates. 80% of divorces today are initiated by women. This is according to the CDC and divorce court statistics, especially in Western countries. Most men lose custody, they lose their homes, and they lose emotional investment. But women don't feel guilty when they're divorcing these men. They feel entitled to do what's best for them. You notice recently Beyonce's mother, I think she's in her 50s, she divorced Beyonce's father. He was not cruel, he did not cheat on her, but she felt she needed more than what he was. So survival, not romance, is a biological script that is beneath the love of a woman. Now let's look at monkey branching, and we look at the war bride code. Women have evolved some other adaptations. The first one is monkey branching. And this means that women emotionally connect to a new man before they leave the current one. Women never just leave. They are not cheating, okay? They're securing a new branch before letting go of the last. And that's why we say that women betray, they don't cheat. A man can go and sleep with a woman with no intention of leaving his current relationship. We normally say that women cheat to leave their relationships, but men cheat to keep their relationships. By the time a woman is cheating, she's already decided to leave. So the other adaptation women have is the friend zone men. Beta orbiters are maintained like spare tires. Men who exist to rescue, fund, or emotionally support her in case her alpha fails. Bahati's wife told us how she used to keep several men in her orbit. Some for the hair, some to fuel the car, some to fund a nail, some to pay rent, and so on and so forth. Many women do this. So from wartime abduction to modern dating, this pattern is called the war bride phenomenon by evolutionary psychologists. And it has persisted for millennia. Women adapt very fast. And loyalty is only guaranteed by value, leadership, and dominance, not feelings. This is why many widows, they live for long compared to widowers. Okay? Women are able to adapt when they lose their men. When many men lose their wives as life partners, they're very heartbroken, and their desire to live normally dims significantly. That's why they don't live for long. So that also, of course, is covered by the grandmother hypothesis that I've spoken to earlier in earlier videos, because women tend to invest in their kin when they reach the matriarch age, just after the cougar stage. So let's look at idealism versus reality. Why men believe love is an ideal. Men believe that she'll stay because she loves me. Men believe that if you make sacrifices, the woman will appreciate. Men believe that she's one of the good ones. Many men feel lucky to have the women that they have in their lives. But nature doesn't care how hard you love if you fail to deliver leadership, confidence, and direction. This is why men collapse into heartbreak when they are abandoned by the same women who once cried over them. They don't understand the rule that a woman's love is conditional based on how she feels, what you offer, and where she's going. So, what's the way forward and what must men do? The first thing, gentlemen, that you must do is you must abandon idealism. That's why I title my book, Unplugged, From Comforting Lies to Cold Hard Truths. We must abandon idealism. You can love a woman. You can treat her well, but don't pedestalize her. And you need to respect biology. Evolutionary psychology is the overarching framework that we use to understand female desire. The second thing you have to do is you need to lead with value, not validation. You don't need approval. Be the man who is wanted, not the man who begs. Build also a brotherhood. That's the third thing you need to do, not a dependency. Never depend on a woman for emotional grounding. Depend on your purpose, on your tribe, and on strength. The Chinese normally say that the best strategy is to be very strong. And that's why I encourage guys, you really need to read a lot of books. When you are well informed, then you also find that your capacity to handle things and to understand life is increased. And you're not going to buckle just because our situation has changed. Okay? The fourth thing you must do is you need to stay on your mission. Your value must be earned and projected consistently. The fifth thing you have to do is you need to learn female behavior or understand female nature. Not words. You need to understand that what women say doesn't matter, and it's normally contradictory from what they do. So you need to observe what a woman does, not what she says. You need to observe what she responds to during ovulation, stress, and success. We need to understand female nature. Unplugged 3 is about modern women and female nature. I don't know if I have it here. Yeah. Modern women and female nature. Okay? So if you read Unplugged 3, it covers all these things. There's a lot about female nature. I'll cover some of them in the next subsequent videos. From pre-selection, war-bride dynamic, how the ovulatory cycle influences the attraction and desire. We are looking at hypergamy, and we are looking at the attraction to the dark tetrad, or formerly dark triad personalities, like psychopathy, Machiavellianism, sadism, and narcissism. Men who embody those traits, women find them very attractive for good reasons. So you need to understand female nature. That's very, very important. Men who don't understand female nature, they make a lot of mistakes and they are punished for them. Women punish without fail. Gentlemen, if women are wired to respond to power, progress, and potential, how do you become the man she never stops valuing? That's the first question. How do you build yourself into the kind of man who doesn't fear abandonment because you know you can walk, rebuild, and rise again, with or without her? So let me hear your answers to those questions. Drop your thoughts, your reaction, your experiences, and your thoughts in the comment section below. Share your scars, build your brothers, and remember that this is not about bitterness. It's about clarity and sovereignty. And for me, any man who is bitter towards women, it shows you've not unplugged. You're still suffering the hangover of blue pill conditioning. Being red pill is about being aware. Being blue pill is about being conditioned. So what we are unplugging from is the comforting lies that we were taught. So our fathers did not teach us about female nature, the ones that I've just talked about. And so now we teach each other. So get unplugged, and I'll see you on the next one.